let's talk about a plate carrier. I'm going to give you an idea of mine and why I've got what I've got on here. We'll go through what it is and the pieces in the puzzle, pieces of the puzzle that I've put together that have served me well for many years. Gone through many iterations of plate carriers, everything from the cry cage back into the old days of using a wraparound piece of gear from some group that's out of business now that the agency I used to work for gave us, and now we're up to this lightweight thing. It's very slim. It's made along the same lines. There's kind of a trend going on. Every time somebody comes up with designs, everybody seems to follow the design, but now the thing is pretty much built off of the width of the plate you buy, and the idea is, at least for me, to be as slim this way as I can be, because going through narrow doorways and going down small halls and passageways, you don't want a bunch of bulk. I don't want a bunch of junk on the sides. So I want to carry it on the front, I want to carry it on the back, and keep the sides as slim as I can, because you've got holsters sticking out and all this other kind of junk. You want to be slim and fast and lightweight. Light is right is kind of the rule. So the other rule is ABC, always be cool, but light is right. All right, so let's take this plate carrier, start at the front plate, go over what's on it, we'll flip to the back, take a look at it, and maybe give you some ideas. And we'll have links below about the different pieces and puzzles of this thing. So what do we got right off the bat is it's made by Faro Concepts. You guys know we're fans of Faro. We're not sponsored by them. We bought all this stuff, all the gear our guys use, we buy. So anyway, just giving you an honest review on this thing. FCPC version 5. Faro Concepts plate carrier V5 version 5. 5th iteration of this thing. So front plate, we've got it comes with a plate bag, and we'll start at the top and work our way down. Plate bag, you can have it where you have rings, you can have it where you have cobra buckles, which is what I've chosen, because you pop these things on, they come off quickly, and you can get out of it fast if you need to. So this is good for movement, flexibility, motion with your shoulders. Doesn't take up a bunch of space, and it doesn't pinch, snag you, or whatever else. So right up you got an admin pocket there, right? Just jam stuff down in there. That's also the location where these straps come, that you can take these off and swap them. If you don't want it here, you want it over here. So there's that. Then we've got a mobile phone mount that mollies in, made by Juggernaut, and it works off of a hinge. You can tighten the screws up and the screw, and that makes that hinge tighter or looser. So there's your hinge option there. And once you've snapped your phone in, which has to be in a dedicated case made by Juggernaut, snaps in here, snaps in here. It's not coming out. It's actually hard to get it in and out. Then you push that sucker up, take that retention band, pop it in, and there you go. It's got a Velcro field there. I got a flag on it, and some stuff just here up front. So that's the top. Then we've got this. These are just retention bands, and it's for retaining a push-to-talk, for me anyway. You can use it for other things, water bladder, tubes, or whatever, but I use it for PTT. So you'd run your push-to-talk down through these things, and that'll hold that in place, and then this goes in, hooks into your radio, get rid of your cords, and there you go. So whatever push-to-talk you've decided to use. Or you can just, hook that thing in there and trust that clip, which I don't. So there's that. Now, as we come down, this is just a dedicated, got it from, I think, Bass Pro Shop. It's a dedicated lens cleaner, and it's for nods or optics of some kind, whether it's your scope or your EOTech in my case, or if you want to get a aim point. Anyway, I'm just kidding. It's just for that. So moving on down. Underneath this flap here, you have a place where you can hook in your G-hooks here, and that is what your shingle, whatever you choose as a magazine carrier or whatever sort of carrier you want, that's where your shingle lands, hooks into, and then it secures to Velcro field down below. This is the Velcro field here. These things are all added. These two are your cobra buckle attachments that hook to your cummerbund. The ones underneath it are, in this case, I added it, and this is a radio pouch here. Drop a radio down in there. I got another one on that side. but they all fold in and lock into underneath this. So let's talk about the cobra buckles for a second. I opted to have my cummerbund attached with a cobra buckle because every time I put this thing on, I snap this in, boom. I don't have to fool with the sizing of it. I don't want to have to worry about whether it is too tight or too loose. I just want to put it on. If it was good yesterday, it should be good today, unless I'm wearing bulky clothing or I ate too much, whatever. So this allows you to get a fixed fit every time. So this side for me never moves. I don't ever take that and unhook that at all. This is the side I unhook to take it off, right? What do they call it? Don and Doff. I mean, it sounds like two brothers from Bulgaria, but to take it on, to take it off, I just unhook this and pull it off over the top of my head. And if you need to adjust this, you just peel this thing up and move it in or out, depending on how tight you need it to your body. And then when you put it on, all that does is clip in place, and it has never come off, or come loose, that is. So that's the front. This is called the Tear, T-E-A-R, and it is just a very simple elastic 5.56 magazine holder. I just have a cravat in here right now because I went running, and this is what I wipe my face with because it's hot. So that's the front. The underside of this thing, I happen to choose to carry an underplate IFAK. I have another IFAK. You guys have seen this on my back of my belt, but this is an underneath, and you can punch a hole in here and you can lanyard it in. But this is just jams up underneath. It's not very fat, pretty simple. Goes up in there, and it's got everything you need to fix yourself or fix a buddy. But you should be using it for yourself. So there's your IFAK right back there. And inside are level 4 deridium plates. You can look those up as to what they do and what they're capable of. Or we'll have something down there for you in the bottom. All right, so going along the sides, you've got here are cable or management or water, in my case, water tube retention. It's just one wrap to hook these things in. And when I am wearing this thing, this does not flop around. I lock that in place. This gets caught behind it, and it doesn't move. So there's what I've got coming down the sides. And it's just run down through Ranger bands, which I have on both sides. And you'll also notice these are arc bands by Arcane Concerted. Same ones, just a smaller version that we showed you on the rifle setup video. On the top here, these are shoulder pads. And there's nothing wrong with being comfortable. Nothing says you have to, you have to make life suck. It'll suck on its own. So these just fold over and lock in place. I would recommend these for any plate carrier you get if you're going to wear it for any length of time at all. So those are shoulder pads on both sides. Again, at the top, cobra buckle on one side, just a ring on the other. And like I said, you can swap those and move them around. So let's look at the cummerbund real quick. The cummerbund on this is it's made with this Teggers material here, just like a lot of the pieces of this thing. The cobra buckles had Teggers in them as well, and this just gives it a good bit of stiffness to your cummerbund. And what that gives you is more rigidity and less front and back plate movement this way. You don't want a lot of your plates sagging down in the front after you've been working for a while, where you're constantly having to, or sagging down to the back if you've loaded it to the back, where you're constantly grabbing your sternum and pulling that plate up to make it fit. This solves that problem, at least it does for me. It's got MOLLE in here if you want to add stuff to it. I've got a tourniquet just in a 9mm mag pouch, and pull that thing loose, pull it out, and you got a rat's tourniquet right there at the ready by my on my right side. On the other side, my support side, I've got a scallywag dagger down in here, and this is just for people that won't let go of things I have on my other side. This helps persuade them to leave my things alone. And keep it on support side, because this hand's usually busy. This hand will be the hand that'll actually go for that. So that's the cummerbund, and it attaches in the back and that will take us to the back of the plate carrier. It just Velcros in here, right? You have to open this up. All of it goes down inside there, and it just locks in place with Velcro on the side, so it's pretty simple. The back side, I keep it really easy. You guys know I like to have one thing that does everything, and I don't want a bunch of junk, so we got 3 things back here. Just a general purpose pouch that's got a camelback water bladder in it. That hose runs up. You got a drag handle here. That's something that you have to add. Got some more comm routing, rubber elastic loops. And then I've got a subdued American flag on this side, just bungeed in. And, you know, the places that we go, sometimes you want an American flag for identification purposes, but you don't want people to be able to see it with the naked eye from a distance. So this black one here is, you can see it using certain optics, and it gets the point across, hey, it's an American, but at the same time, it's not going to be such a trouble magnet for you if you're moving around wearing camo and yet you got red, white, and blue blaring out on this side. Other side is a 30-foot tubular nylon, Ranger banded in, and then bungeed in, so you can just grab this and pull it out of the bungees, and then it's all contained in the Ranger bands until you need it. Why tubular nylon? Because you can make a litter out of it. You can tow a truck with it. You can hook it to a hard point inside a structure, and you can use it to get out of that in an emergency. So it's got lots of uses there. Tubular nylon is just good to have on hand. You know, if you're, what you can also do, I've got this side knotted off, is run a carabiner through here, and then just hook that carabiner there. So when you're ready to use this thing, unhook the carabiner, pull it loose, and now you got this end ready to go. You can lock it into whatever you want to lock it into, and toss the rest out the window so you can go down the line if you need it. So that is the plate carrier that I use. It's like I said, it's just a good solid piece of gear. It's slim and thin, and there's not a lot of wasted space and stuff on here. The only thing you don't see is you don't see the radio, you don't see the PTT attached, but everything else that's here is what I use. It's what I run with all the time, so that's why that's in there. And 3 days a week, run with that thing. Just a good piece of gear all around. Ferro Concepts FCPC version 5 V5.